Are you stuck, lacking motivation? Then good, because that's where growth happens. I like to talk about this before because it's something I've experienced as well. A lot of people sit there and wait for the motivation to happen. I need to be motivated. I'm not motivated to do something. And if you're new here, my name is Laith, and I've been coaching thousands of people over the last 20 years of my life. And I've dedicated the last 5 years to understanding what longevity is and living a higher quality life. But the trick to this is very simple. If you start something, even if it's a small start, even if you do 20 minutes or 15 minutes of a workout a week, that's when momentum starts. And once you get momentum going, motivation starts to kick in, and it becomes a beautiful cycle of motivation and momentum as it builds over time. And it becomes very hard to break that as a habit once that starts to build over time. But it doesn't happen overnight, and it does take a lot of effort, and it does take a lot of commitment. But once you get it, it becomes a lot easier to sustain. It's like moving a big rock. I'm not sure why you'd move a rock, but let's say you're trying to roll a big rock, like in the cartoons, and the first push is really hard. But once you start to push, and once that momentum starts to build, it becomes so much easier to move that. Or maybe a sled. A sled would be a better example in this that people can relate. So if you've ever pushed a sled with heavy weights on it in the gym, obviously not outside. I don't know why you'd be outside doing that. But if you start to push a sled, that sled is the hardest when it is not moving, stationary. But once you start to get that momentum, once you start to get that push, it starts to become easier. It doesn't mean it's easy. It is easier than when it was at a dead still or a dead position. Is it dead position? Dead something, not moving basically. So the simple thing of this is that if you have in your head that you want to be active, or if you want to start to do something physical, start with something small that takes you 5 minutes. And I've talked about the 5-minute rule. At the end of the 5 minutes, if you don't want to continue, then don't. But chances are 90% of the time you will continue doing that. So even if it's just 10 push-ups, you wake up and you do 10 push-ups. It's an easy task. Most people can do it, or 10 squats or whatever it is. And then from there, you just keep that habit going. And if you watch my Instagram account, and you'll notice that I've taken on a challenge. I'm not sure how smart that is, but I've taken on a challenge to post something interesting or useful for people for the next 365 days. I'm already on day 34, I think, somewhere around there. And, or maybe when you're watching this, it'll be a lot more forward. Anyway, point being is that it's a small 10, 15 second thing that I post. And it built up a habit that I started in Ramadan, that I was posting about my caffeine withdrawal because I stopped drinking coffee in Ramadan, or that idea developed into a habit and I wanted to continue that habit. So it's the same thing with anything that you want to do. Start with something very small, something you feel very easy. And once you get that momentum going, that motivation will start to jump at. And the reality is, and I say that a lot, the reality is, but the fact is that when you show up on the days that you don't feel like doing it and you do something rather than nothing. So if I didn't want to do work because I don't have a boss, so I have to motivate myself. On the days that I've not had a good day, or something's happened that has thrown me off my routine, these are the days that are important to show up, because these are the days that you have to push through that, even if it's something for 5 minutes, because doing something rather than nothing is so critical to maintaining that momentum that people underestimate that. And on the good days, it becomes so much easier to do the things that you're supposed to do, maybe not enjoy, but you're supposed to do. And that applies to work or working out or whatever it is. Don't think that you're different than people, that you lack motivation or you're not a high performing person. It's not that. And I've realized that reading and watching enough about this subject on people that have achieved a lot in their life, it's not that they're different or they're made different. It's just that they show up on the days that are difficult, and they do even the smallest of tasks on that day to maintain that momentum. Remember the sled, or if you like the boulder thing that you're pushing, if you stop, then you go back to where you were, and trying to get that to move again becomes so much more difficult. So keep showing up and be consistent. And even if you have to just come in for 10 minutes, do it. It's better than nothing. And if you do need help with this, or with motivation, or with a plan, or whatever it is when it comes to your health and wellness, drop me a line below or email me and we can have that conversation. Enjoy your week. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. I would greatly appreciate it. Or share this with somebody that needs to hear and understand how motivation and momentum work. And if you haven't subscribed already to my newsletter, I would greatly appreciate that. So YouTube seems to think that you would enjoy this video over here, so press on it, because YouTube will get upset if you don't. And if you did enjoy my content, or you found me somewhat entertaining or helpful in any way possible, I would greatly appreciate that you subscribe to my channel. Until next week, enjoy and stay active.